Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're jumping into two really big ideas from the AP Comparative Politics curriculum, power and legitimacy. We're going to look at the blueprints governments use to build themselves, and, just as important, how they convince their people that they actually have the right to be in charge.
So let's dive right in with this question. And believe me, this isn't just for a textbook. This gets to the very heart of how you and I relate to our governments, no matter where we live. It's about the state's architecture, sure, but it's also about the belief system that keeps the whole thing from falling apart.
All right, first up, the architecture of power. Think of this as Unit 1.7 in a nutshell. We're basically asking, where is the power located? You'll find that governments usually follow one of two main blueprints, and picking one over the other changes everything from fixing potholes to managing national unity.
Okay, so imagine a pyramid. In a unitary system, all the real power is concentrated right at the top with the national government. All the big decisions flow down from that one central point. This can make things really efficient and ensures that the rules are the same for everyone across the whole country. Now, what's so fascinating here is just how different these countries are, right? You've got China's one-party state, Iran's theocracy, and the UK's parliamentary democracy. But what they all have in common is this concentration of power at the top. Even the UK, which has given some powers to Scotland and Wales, is still considered unitary. Why? Because at the end of the day, the central parliament in London could theoretically just take that power right back.
So let's totally flip that model on its head. A federal system is all about sharing. Power is divided between the central, national government, and lower levels, like states or provinces. And here's the really crucial part. Those local governments have powers that are constitutionally protected. The central government can't just snatch them away.
And here are the coarse examples for federalism. Mexico, Nigeria, and Russia all split their power. This is often a strategy to keep things stable, especially in countries with a ton of diversity. Just look at Nigeria. Its federal system is specifically designed to give its many ethnic groups some say over their own local affairs. Now, it's a constant balancing act, but that's the idea.
So you can see the trade-off here. Unitary systems, they can be super fast and decisive. Everyone follows the same set of rules. Federal systems might be a bit slower, but they're great at protecting local differences, and they can act as a built-in check on the central government's power. One isn't automatically better than the other. It really just depends on what a country needs and values most.
Here is the perfect way to picture this. A unitary system is like a high school. The principal's office makes the rules, and those rules apply to every single student. A federal system? That's more like a big university. The College of Arts might have different graduation requirements than the College of Engineering, even though they're both part of the same university.
And this stuff has huge real-world consequences. Seriously. In a unitary state, getting a pothole fixed might actually involve the national government. In a federal state, no way. That's a local problem. And think about a country like Nigeria, with over 250 ethnic groups. A federal system that allows regions to reflect their own cultures isn't just a nice idea. It's a critical tool for holding the entire country together.
Okay, so the structure's in place. But a government can have the most brilliant blueprint in the world and still fail if the people don't believe it has the right to be in charge. And that brings us to our second huge concept, this one from Unit 1.8, political legitimacy.
This really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Legitimacy is like this invisible force that transforms raw power into accepted authority. It's the reason most of us pay our taxes or stop at a red light, even when we're pretty sure nobody's watching. It's that belief in the system.
Pay close attention to the wording here. It's not about being popular or whether people like the government. It's a much deeper belief that the government's power is justified, that it's lawful. A government with high legitimacy can get things done pretty easily. A government with low legitimacy, well, it's probably going to rely a lot more on force.
So how do governments build this trust? Well, as the AP curriculum shows us, they've got a few tools in their toolbox. A big one is the rule of law, the idea that nobody, not even the person in charge, is above the law. Free and fair elections are obviously huge, but you can also get legitimacy from tradition, like a long-standing monarchy or a powerful ideology, like communism in China. And sometimes it's as simple as being good at your job, providing security and a growing economy. Let's just zero in on elections for a second. The AP curriculum really emphasizes the role of independent electoral organizations. When a group like Mexico's National Electoral Institute proves it can run a fair election, that builds massive public trust. It tells people, hey, the game isn't rigged. That makes the winner and the whole system seem way more legitimate.
This is a fantastic question because it gets at a really common misunderstanding. It's so easy to think that authoritarian leaders just don't care what their people think. But that's not really the whole story. They care a lot about staying in control.
And legitimacy is a very powerful tool for doing just that.
I mean, look at Russia or Iran. They hold elections. Now, are these elections free and fair in the way we might think of them? Of course not. The system is often designed to limit any real opposition and make sure the ruling party stays in power. But the act of just holding an election creates this appearance of legitimacy. It's a signal, both to its own people and to the world, that the rulers have some kind of mandate. It makes their power feel more stable.
Okay, so let's bring our two big ideas together now. We've got the government's architecture, its structure, and we've got its right to rule, its legitimacy. So, what happens when you mix them?
This right here is the main takeaway. A government that has the right structure for its society, say a federal system for a really diverse country, and has earned the trust of its people, well, that's a stable government. That's a government that can weather a crisis, it can get things done, it can last.
I love this quote. It just captures the whole idea perfectly. The structure, federal or unitary, is the skeleton. It gives the state its basic shape and form. But legitimacy, that's the soul. It's the life force that makes people believe in the system and participate in it. Without that soul, the skeleton is really just an empty frame, ready to fall over.
And that leads us to the ultimate question, the one that really sets up everything else we study in comparative politics. What happens when a government structure doesn't work for its people anymore, or when its legitimacy just completely collapses? Well, that's when you get protests, political chaos, and sometimes even revolution. Understanding how these foundations are built is the absolute first step to understanding why sometimes they come crashing down.